Then came the 2000s era, the era for singers and dancers. This part of the story also covers the 2010s era as well. Original movies and modern day TV shows were brought to life. Just like the old way of making actors as well as singers famous, the 2000s were the chance to make every actor famous in a way that was never done before. There are so many people who worked for Disney that turned out to be mostly pop rock singers like Miley Cyrus, the Jonas Brothers, Demi Lovato, Debbie Ryan, Sabrina Carpenter, and so many others that were massive successes at least for good periods of time. This era was very different in terms of technology, fame, successes elsewhere, etc. Also, modern set Disney shows were made one by one that would air on modern day Disney Channel. Whether you liked watching these shows or not, there were consistent themes of family, working hard for what you get, compassion, caring for others, good messages that were in especially 60s Disney movies. Now, just because most modern Disney TV was pretty good for its time does not mean these shows were for all ages or were not without mistakes here and there. But most of the shows that I've seen telling you this story were pretty grounded in terms of good messaging. Now, like the 1950s, 60s, and definitely the 90s, give or take a decade, the modern Disney shows had next to no clear religious characters, like the 50s and 60s decades had movies with clear Christian characters. The 2000s and 2010s TV shows that I've seen have only pushed out two shows with any examples of Christian or religious plot points. Those two shows would be Shake It Up and Girl Meets World. Many of you may debate me on this. If you remember any other Disney show with this symbolism, put a comment down below. Let's talk original movies. In terms of Christian characters, those were very rare in these 2 decades. Drop your comments down below if you remember these movies. So, original Disney movies were its own thing. Decades and decades of original movies do change for better or worse. Some of my favorite original movies growing up were Max Keeble's Big Move, Alice in Wonderland, Maleficent, Princess Protection Program, etc. I'm also calling live actions of cartoons original movies in this context. Just like any other decade, original movies were both flops and box office successes. What's different about these 2 decades is that a lot of Disney TV shows in particular are supposed to appeal to 10-year-olds and adults. Like the other decades, it was hit and miss. This appeal of both movies and TV led to getting plenty of actors out of Disney to make singing careers and possibly join other brands of TV to remain as actors. I believe this era was a huge opportunity for so many people to become multimillionaires, as most of them are right now. But the downside of this era isn't without its criticism. They seem to want some of their TV to be a little, how can I say this, agenda driven. Now, as someone who believes in Disney to make good entertainment, there are definitely problems with its leadership. You now have Bob Iger, someone who will lead Disney down the tubes until he leaves in 2026. There have been movies, even before Bob Iger got the job as CEO of Disney, that have been box office flops, particularly feature-length cartoons. As you may see some kind of pattern in these films that seem to drift more and more from the original brand of Disney Entertainment. As for animated work, in this modern age, they get more and more like an agenda-driven brand of entertainment that doesn't really have much of positive messaging for kids who spend money in theaters to watch them. Of course, over time, many Disney movies and feature-length cartoons seem to have much more CGI and are increasingly violent. Maybe after Bob Iger will get better leadership. He himself has mentioned that he doesn't really know what kind of entertainment that the public wants. Sometimes it's just hit and miss. I'm not saying that the 2000s era forward is taking steps in the wrong direction. I'm saying that the last 2 decades in the story have been just like the decades before, bringing out box office successes as well as box office flops. This story can be told in many ways, whether you like Disney entertainment or not. Like many of us kids, we saw something of Disney somewhere at some time. Disney was founded on hard work pays off, the hard facts of America, and make-believe. Even in the strangest of movies or TV shows, there usually was some heart somewhere. The Walt Disney Company has changed so much over the last century. Whether you think Disney is getting better or worse as the decades roll, at least it had a foundational purpose. Different leadership happened mostly after the 1960s, which has changed the trajectory of entertainment as we know it. This is the end of the Disney story.